Now, the sounds of Simon are coming back to our area as part of their tour, and I tell you what, it's going to be a fantastic show. As you were just hearing right now, the versatility of Simon and Garfunkel, and not least, of course, Paul Simon, really comes to the spotlight in this show. Ben Bowden is back with me. Let's talk a little bit about the show. What can we expect from it exactly, Ben?
Well, the show's called All the Hits 1957 to 1987, and the plan that we had a couple of years ago now was to essentially do that, put all the hits that Paul Simon has written together and play them chronologically, which is what we do. We start with Hey Schoolgirl, which was released in 1957 when Simon and Garfunkel were known as Tom and Jerry. They were 15, 16 years old and had a minor hit with this song. So we start with that, and then we work our way through Paul Simon's hits until we get to Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes, which was released in 1987, and we tell the story of the two of them, and apart and together along the way.
Laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know.
Let's talk a little bit about the relationship between Simon and Garfunkel, because here you have two guys who were enormously talented and obviously had something very special when they performed together. The problem was that they didn't really get along well.
No, I think that's probably fair. They don't. I don't know. Sometimes I think they have an argument and then they reform, and so everyone goes to the concerts.
Yeah,
that's what I think sometimes. And then I think that actually I don't think I'm friends with anyone that I was friends with when I was 11.
Yeah.
And so to expect a friendship, I mean, they're both 75 now. So to expect a friendship to have lasted that long is perhaps unreasonable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they do create something very, very special when they're together.
The amazing concert they had, and yet another one of their reunion concerts, was the one everybody remembers, of course, which was in Central Park.
Oh, absolutely,
in New York. Yeah. And it's always worth revisiting that video, isn't it? Because what you see there are two guys who hadn't played together for a while, and you could actually feel the joy that they're having performing these great songs again.
Yeah, there's a lovely moment actually where Paul Simon, in the period between the concert and the end of Simon and Garfunkel, he's added a bar in the Boxer. He's added an extra 4 beats in the Boxer, and Garfunkel misses it, and Garfunkel sings early, and you can see it on the DVD that the two of them share this beautiful look where Art kind of gets it wrong in front of 500,000 people, and Paul kind of looks at him and smiles, and there's a lovely little moment between them, and you kind of think, well, in the end, isn't that the, for want of sounding particularly pretentious, isn't that the healing power of music?
In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that's laid him down or cut him to the
And Paul Simon, of course, he got married in Essex. He lived in Essex for a while, and one of the big gigs he played in Romford back in '65 was the White Swan.
White Swan, yeah, in the marketplace. Mm.
Yeah, and you were telling me earlier about how much you paid for a ticket. How much was it?
Oh no, it was his fee. His fee.
Oh, was it his fee?
Yeah, his fee. No, his fee was 12 quid in those days.
12 quid. He got paid 12 quid.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on his tour of one night stands. He was working as a folk singer in England. Their first album had flopped in the US, and he moved over to England. And he fell in love with Kathy, who sold tickets at Brentwood Folk Club. One promoter in Buckinghamshire, I think, who managed to get Simon and Garfunkel. Paul said, "My friend's come over from America. He'd like to sing with me tonight." And the promoter said, "Well, fine, but you're not getting any extra money." And so he got Simon and Garfunkel for £12 rather than just Simon.
Oh, how lovely. Isn't that a great story? That's Ben Bowden. The sounds of Simon is coming to Romford, to the Brookside Theatre. And if you'd like to go along to that, it's going to be a great gig. I really can recommend it for you. Then it's all happening in November, which is now, can you believe we're in November? 19th to be exact. So the 19th of November at the Brookside Theatre.